Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, January 30. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke says Jamaica's latest economic outlook rating from the international ratings agency Fitch is great news for the country. Fitch has affirmed the government of Jamaica's long-term foreign currency issuer and local currency issuer default rating at B+ and revised the outlook from stable to positive. Dr. Clarke says it recognizes that Jamaica is making consistent economic gains. The rating agency indicated that the revised outlook reflected Jamaica's efforts in maintaining the debt to GDP on a downward trajectory, supported by the government's successes in running large primary surpluses. In explaining the affirmation of the B+ ratings, Fitch pointed out that the high debt to GDP and low growth levels were constraining factors. However, prospects for growth have improved, and it is expected that growth will move steadily to 1.5% by 2021. The Senate has approved legislation allowing business persons who now fall below the threshold for paying GCT to voluntarily register as taxpayers. As part of the 2019-2020 fiscal year revenue measures, government increased the GCT threshold from $3 to $10 million. It meant businesses with gross total supplies less than the new threshold would no longer be required to file a monthly GCT return, as they would no longer be considered registered taxpayers. That policy change is expected to generate efficiencies and administrative cost savings for the businesses and tax administration based on the value of the transactions. But on Friday, the Senate amended the GCT Act, giving affected persons the option to apply to the Commissioner General to be re-registered.
Consideration was given to those persons who fall below the new threshold, but who opt to remain registered as taxpayers. And they may do so because these persons will have the benefit of being able to claim a tax credit or a refund of GCT paid on goods or services purchased for their businesses.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says a governance framework has been developed and instituted at the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU. In a statement to Parliament Tuesday, Mr. Holness said since taking over responsibility for the Ministry of Education in March 2019, a work plan was developed to address the challenges identified at the institution. Already, he says steps have been taken to rectify issues highlighted in the Auditor General's report on the CMU, which was recently tabled in the House of Representatives.
To date, the following have been developed for approval of the new council: a board charter, declaration of interests, investment policy, donations policy, and procurement internal procedures. So these are all policy guidelines and documents developed in keeping with our thrust to ensure that the CMU is meeting the accountability framework.
A new CMU council, chaired by Professor Gordon Shirley, has been approved by the Cabinet, and an internal auditor has been hired. The new council will be required to establish a governance committee to ensure that it's meeting all its requirements. 70% of the members of Parliament have voted to continue 3 of the 4 states of public emergency now operating across the island. The states of public emergency extended are the tri-parish area of Westmoreland, Hanover and St. James, the bi-parishes of St. Catherine and Clarendon, as well as St. Andrews South. The special security measure will remain in force until April 25. During Tuesday's sitting of Parliament, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang reiterated police statistics which show that crime has fallen in areas where a state of emergency has been imposed.
We need the continued powers to, in fact, disrupt activity. Indeed, we have had enough intelligence demonstrate on several occasions where we have stopped, intercepted gang wars early in the stage and prevent killing. It's a fact of this race.
More Jamaicans will now be able to benefit from access to legal services with the Justice Ministry's acquisition of 2 more mobile justice units. The vehicles now bring the total number in operation to 3.
We want to, in accordance with the UNDP United Nations goal, to ensure that our people enjoy their rights and freedoms. So this bus will not only be offering legal services, but also information on their constitutional and human rights and freedoms. It's important that people know their rights.
The 2 units were received from the Canadian government through the Justice Undertakings for Social Transformation (JUST) program at a cost of 420,000 Canadian dollars. The Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA, has received 6 gas analyzers, which will allow its officers to test the air quality inside containers. The devices, valued at £9,000, were handed over to the JCA by the United Kingdom Border Force on Monday. Their acquisition was facilitated under a Memorandum of Understanding signed in 2016. JCA's Chief Executive Officer, Velma Ricketts-Walker, says that the gas analyzers will provide another layer of protection for the officers as they go about their tasks.
So it would assist us in assessing the container prior to examination or physical inspection.
Mrs. Ricketts-Walker says this is in keeping with the JCA's efforts to improve border protection by curtailing illicit activities. And finally, effective February 1, disinfectant mats will be installed at the Norman Manley International Airport to reduce the risk of plant and animal pests entering the country. Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Audley Shaw announced the pilot exercise on Wednesday during the launch of the International Year of Plant Health at Hope Gardens in St. Andrew.
Plant health and protection is everybody's business. We are all responsible for keeping Jamaica's plants and agriculture healthy. And so I wish to use this opportunity to engage every single Jamaican to rally around the national drive to improve plant health.
He says the ministry is also working with the Mexican government and the Jamaica Constabulary Force on an agriculture canine program, which will help reduce the number of unauthorized plants and crops being smuggled into the country. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.